Hello, welcome. My name is Adam. This is a FSX video. So, this is going to be the final time I boot up Microsoft Flight Simulator X. With the addition of next year's new Microsoft Flight Simulator coming out, it really will replace Flight Simulator X. For those of you who want to upgrade and get the latest and the best sim on the market, that is backwards compatible with a lot of add-ons for Microsoft X, then the new Microsoft Flight Simulator will be that simulator you get. And I dare say, I don't see many reasons to come back to Flight Simulator X if all the add-ons do in fact work and are compatible with the new sim. Then why would you want to boot up Flight Simulator X Steam Edition or Flight Simulator X Gold Edition? With the acceleration pack. I don't understand why anybody would want to keep this. So for me, this is going to be the final flight because I do have P3D. It runs pretty much very similar to Microsoft Flight Simulator X. Um, it's just more, it's a 64-bit version of it. Slightly updated, better looking. I find that this has better performance now, which is very strange to say that. But it's the last time, guys. The last time we'll hear. And the last time that we're going to go for a free flight, which means, as we look at all my aircraft that I have here, there are a few pieces. There are a few airplanes I've already uninstalled, but there are going to be a few airplanes here that won't be able to come across to P3D, like Jetstream. I won't be able to utilize this in P3D version 4, but it's okay because I've got a Coronado 120, which is pretty much the same thing. There are a lot of planes in here I've got some Aero Commanders, helicopters, the A300, the A310, all literally every Airbus plane and every Boeing plane and a lot of DCs. So there's a lot here. Now, we're going to do a flight from Washington, Seattle, Renton Municipal Airport. Now, that's the home of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay. And we're going to load it up, and then we're going to go for a flight. We're going to take off. We're going to fly around Seattle, come back, and land. And then that is it. And the next time you see me is after that flight, and we're literally going to uninstall everything. Because I no longer need to utilize, the Flight Simulator X. Got the new sim, P3D. I can use P3D right now. I can make videos for P3D right now, and then when the new sim comes out, I can showcase all the videos I've got for that. So, see you in a moment. Right, now this is the second time I've had to record the audio for this because the engine was unbearably loud for some reason. So, okay, here we are back in the sim, and we are at Renton Municipal Airport, which is in Seattle, Washington, America. The landscape around us, there is no Orbex whatsoever. So when we go to P3D where there is Orbex, we can see the difference between what Mega Scenery will give us and Airports HD, although it's a different version of Airports HD. It's Zinatech, something like that. It's basically an earlier version of what Airports HD came from. And then, of course, we've got the weather, which isn't Active Sky at all. It's a freeware engine with its own cloud textures and Skyforce Rex 3D. So, let's hop into the plane. Let's get this mother in the air. Textures look pretty good. Textures look pretty nice, I must say. Looking okay. Looking very sharp, actually. I must say, yeah. But I'm actually quite surprised at how good these textures look. I'm on a 1080p display, but I've got 4K textures loaded into the sim. So and of course anti-aliasing is in effect. So let's see here. When we get to the air, we're going to climb to about 6,000 feet, and then of course in P3D, you know there'll be a cut to it, and you'll be able to see the same takeoff in P3D up to 5,000 feet, and see exactly what the difference is. Although one difference will be that Orbex will be the landscape and not Mega Scenery Earth. Of course, in this one it is a bit flat, and of course I'm recording this at about 8 o'clock in the morning, so for some reason it's like part night textures. The lighting is still in effect, the night lighting. So for the Mega Scenery Earth, there is night lighting on that texture, which is what them golden spots are. And if we have a look to the left or the right, you can see just there the goldenness on the texture. So we just have to live with that. But to be honest, I'm really surprised at what this looks like. The cockpit does look a bit weird. The cockpit lighting doesn't look like it's accurate. So I think something maybe hasn't loaded properly. Maybe because I don't know, it's like, I don't know, there's no shadows on the cockpit, you know, but then again, there's no sun in the sky. So I don't know, it looks very brightly lit for some reason, this cockpit. Unnaturally brightly lit. So yeah, see, you can see there, yeah, the golden nighttime textures. It does look a bit pants at this level because, well, you know, it's Mega Scenery Earth, let's face it. It looks good at 2,000 feet, but we're only at 1,000 feet, so... but yeah, so this is the last flight I'm ever going to do in Microsoft Flight Simulator X, FSX. This will be the final flight, unless, of course, there is an overwhelming demand of comments that say, no, do not uninstall it, we want to see more flights. And we want you to do this, we want you to do that. So unless people are saying keep it, I will be getting rid of it. Just simply because I use P3D, which, okay, FSX gets smoother frame rates, but then it doesn't have half the add-ons that P3D run. But P3D does look far better, and it's a 64-bit sim. There's no crashes. I do get to use GEX in FSX, which isn't being displayed here. And of course, with P3D, I use Orbex mainly. But Mega Scenery Earth, I kind of use both of them, you know, between the two. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough call. Oh, see, now that's looking a little bit better. I don't know what height we're at, but that's, yeah, we're coming up to 2,000. So that's looking a lot better now. The mountains actually in the background, as you can see here, they look exactly the same as they do in P3D. I'm using the same mesh that I use for P3D, which is the FS Global 2018 Ultimate Next Generation whatever mesh, which is 1 meter per pixel everywhere in the world. So the mountains do look nice. I like the fog on the mountains in the distance as well. In fact, the cloud textures in the sky, they look really nice and naturalistic. They really do look pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know actually, should I uninstall this? Should I stop using FSX? I mean, the higher I get, the better it seems to look. Maybe I should keep it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. What do you want? And I shall make it so. So anyway, we're going to get up to about 5,000 feet here. I think we're probably going to fly a little over Seattle. We'll turn left in a moment because in order to get to that height of 6,000 feet, I don't want to go too far from the airport. I want to keep it in sight at all times. And I know it's behind me, so we'll turn probably over the city or just beyond, turn left, and then do a circle round and come into land. And then that'll be it. The final flight. So, see, the lighting in the cockpit looks very weird. In fact, I think I'm slightly off course here. I do like, oh, look at that. It looks very nice down there now. I think maybe we need to do a turn, actually to the left, because I think I'm slightly off course. Yeah, I think if we go over there, that city in the distance over there, that'll keep us in the area. So, so let's do it. Let's do a turn here. I am liking it. I'm liking it a lot. So, how many of you still use FSX? The new Microsoft Flight Sim is the next generation of flight simulation, using a completely different process to bring you the world. Now, the way FSX do it, the way P3D do it, and to a certain degree the way X-Plane do it, is the world is given to you in layers, and all these layers form a nice juicy sandwich that you can fly through. The new flight sim for Microsoft doesn't do that. It doesn't give you layers. It gives you a complete base, which is kind of what you see below us now, which is photoreal satellite data. But then using a very skilled AI program, it analyzes the satellite data below you, goes, right, that's a tree, that's a building, okay, and then automatically generates and places in exactly on the spot the 3D rendition of each tree, of each building, of each landmark, completely covering the sort of photoreal, satellite data information. And so all you kind of really see are grass fields, maybe roads, and they are the actual grass fields, the actual roads of data you're seeing below, not a CG rendition of it, an actual photo of it. And so it really helps to create this world, this realistic looking world. And of course you've got your plane in there, and you've got your sky, which is also placed in, but it's proper volumetric sky, which affects your aircraft, not just a 2D sort of trying to pretend to be volumetric. So it's put together slightly different, and because most of it can be downloaded through the internet as you're flying. If you've got great internet speeds, you're probably going to have the best frame rates, because most of the world will be generated through your internet speed, and then of course your graphic display doesn't have to create everything it sees. It's more feeding that into a visual display from your internet. Your CPU probably won't have to work as hard. So all three, internet speed, GPU, CPU, will all be working to create the world, whereas in FSX it's CPU dependent, and your GPU kind of idolizes. I don't know if they've changed the core now, but when FSX came out, it was CPU heavy. You needed a very fast, good CPU in order to take advantage, because it was mainly CPU based. Now, P3D X-Plane, they're mainly, well, they're both actually. They used GPU and CPU probably equally, and plus, of course, FSX only ran on the one core. So if you had 8 cores, only one of them was really going to run. Now, P3D version 4 does the same. It does run on all cores, but it mainly runs on one core. If you actually look at your cores working as you're flying, you'll find that most of that's one of the cores, which I find is core 4 in my setup, is all the time working on P3D. So I limit my P3D to only use 4 of the available 8 cores, because then I can use those other 4 for other processes that will also take CPU power, and so it helps to run a smoother, consistent machine rather than a stuttery frame. But back to FSX, this actually looks really nice. I mean, forget the lighting down below that's still shining through. That's just due to the time of day I'm flying at. If it was afternoon, this would look totally different, and the lighting wouldn't be there. But I'm really surprised by the look of the visual. I'm sure I remember this looking a lot different. This kind of looks like P3D in terms of the color and the level of detail, but I know it's FSX. It's going to be interesting to boot up P3D and do the same flight. I think it's really going to be interesting. So anyway, I'm just going to quickly skip the video now on the approach of the landing, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so we're back. We're on an approach. We're coming down. This looks fantastic. The cockpit lighting is a little bit weird because I think it's at that time of day where it should be night lit in the cockpit. So the night lighting of the cockpit should be active, but it isn't. So therefore, the lighting within the cockpit does look a bit weird. I can still see the needles though, so that's fine. But we're really high here. We need to come down quite a bit, but we're okay. We're fine. I don't know. I really think I might keep FSX actually, but the thing is, I will never use it. I'll never fly in it because P3D is just as good, and I have a lot more world for FSX though, because there's a lot more freeware, but then all that freeware I can use in P3D if I want to. I don't know, it's a tough call. This one is getting better performance at the moment out of the two, but then this doesn't, I don't run any Orbex in this at all. I only run P3D. I only run GEX, sorry, and Mega Scenery, and then the freeware, and that's it. Maybe that's why. I don't allow Orbex to come in FSX at all. But anyway, I have got a few surprises coming to the channel. We're going to shift, not for final, not for good, but the thing is, I'm doing a lot of flying, but I can only show you stuff from P3D version 4. So I'm booting that up. I've kind of lost a little bit of love for it because, you know, I've seen what Microsoft can deliver, you know, and it looks fantastic. And then I look at P3D and go, you're really running to catch up, you know. In fact, you know, let's have a little chat about how many of you will actually keep your current sims. Like, I know that there are still people flying in FS 2004 Century of Flight, and they don't want to get FSX because they've spent so much money in that, and they're happy with it. It runs fine, and that's great. And then there are some people with FSX, and they haven't made the leap to P3D version 4 because they know they're gonna have to buy all their add-ons again, and they're like, no, FSX runs fine. I'm staying in this, and it's gonna be the same with P3D version 4. There are gonna be people who have invested that much money and have got it running okay that they're like, you know what, I don't need the latest and greatest. This runs fine for me. Now, so out of all them groups of people, I wonder how much of a percentage of the community that actually makes up, because from what I read in forums and Facebook groups and pages, there's a lot of people who will make the shift to the new flight sim next year, and we're just going to call it MFS, right? So people are going to go for MFS next year, and they're going to leave behind their current sims of X-Plane, P3D, or FSX. I probably won't fly in P3D as much when we can publicly fly in MFS next year. I do most of my videos will be towards that sim. There'll only be a few that will be still through P3D, but I certainly won't delete it because I have got loads of add-ons that I'd like to see, that I'd like to make use of, because I've invested so much. I just can't justify deleting it. You see, FSX is an easy one to delete because it's all freeware, and there's only a few planes that are paidware. The rest are freeware as well. So it's for me an easy fix to just to go bye bye to FSX. But the fact is that this looks really nice. It's like sometimes P3D breaks and doesn't work, and I need to get it going again. And in the meantime, I can use FSX. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments how many of you will be abandoning your current sim in favor for the new sim, and let me know if you are staying put in your current sim and not even going to move to MFS next year. And while you type that in the comments, I'm going to now switch over to the original audio on this video, and we're going to take her in for the final approach. See ya. We'll give it the final collapse now, even though I should. Too red, mate. Too red. Go. 1, 2. Beautiful. Here we go. Boom. Touchdown. Fans go wild. Now we just gotta stop. We got plenty of runway to do that on. That's it pretty much. We are out of here. We are done. This is Flight Simulator X. Thank you so much for all your years of service. That plane looks truly wrecked. This plane looks accurate. I want to thank you so much, Flight Simulator X, for everything you've given us. Have really, really beautiful and anyway, thanks for watching this. And in the future, we've got some great stuff coming up. Got a nice little surprise as well. Yeah. Stay tuned for more Microsoft Flight Simulator flights and flights. I'll see you next time. Bye.